Welcome to Unity of Greater Hartford. My name is Reverend Christine Boylan, and we are here in the church sanctuary because last week we couldn't be here because of the weather. So we recorded it on Facebook last Sunday, but we, for some reason, aren't able to download it and have it show up on our website. And it was the first in a 4-part series called The Gifts of Winter. So we are here this morning to just record the talk for you. If you want to hear the entire service, then please go to Facebook, our Facebook page. But right now, right here, we're just going to be giving the Sunday talk so that you have the first in the series and are ready to participate in all of them. So, in the Bible book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, we read, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." And then it goes on to list those purposes: a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And it continues in that vein for many more purposes. So clearly we are being told that there are many seasons, and guess what? Your initial reaction to some of these seasons might just be yuck. To die, to pluck up, to break down, to weep, to mourn, please. And yet, when I thought about it a little bit more, there have been many times in my life when I thought the so-called purpose was horrible or just a waste of time. But then, in retrospect, I could find or see the purpose. And while I might not ever want to go through that again, I could still discern the blessing or the gift in it. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah. To everything there is a season and a blessing or a gift in every purpose under heaven. All right, that is my rewrite of the Bible. Well, and now we come to the season of winter. Anyone here on the East Coast love the season of winter? Actually, I do love winter, but with a caveat, except for the ice. Anyone else have a caveat? Well, yours might be the cold or the snow, the clothes, or lots of other reasons. I love winter except. But could there still be a blessing in the season, even with those exceptions? Could there be a hidden gift for each one of us, like my doggie right now? I think there very well could be. Listen to this from author Parker Palmer. Winter has a gift to give. It comes when the sky is clear, the sun is brilliant, the trees are bare, and yet first snow is yet to come. It is the gift of utter clarity. In winter, one could walk into the woods that had been opaque with summer growth only a few months earlier, and see the trees clearly, singly and together, and see the ground they are rooted in. Winter clears the landscape, however brutally, giving us a chance to see ourselves and each other more clearly, to see the very ground of our being. That's beautiful insight. And yet, that is only one gift of the gifts of winter. There are many others, and each one of us will receive only those gifts that we are open, ready, and receptive to receive. And how do we become open, ready, and receptive? Well, that is what we're going to be talking about for the next 4 weeks. I'll be offering tools to help you become open and receptive, tools like awareness and patience, silence, forgiveness. Each week we'll focus on a different tool. And then during the week, there will be some activities for you to explore. And all this will, at the very least, help you participate in a little bit more self-care and to go a bit further on your spiritual journey. Now, on the website, and certainly if you're here in the service, in the building, there is a winter calendar that you can download from the website right on the homepage, or if you come into church, you can pick one up. And every day there is an activity. So we're going to just take a moment to look at this calendar. Each day there's a different activity and entry. And of course, Sunday, I ask you a question about the Sunday talk. And then each Monday begins with prayer first. Of course, prayer first. In all things, pray first. Now, that idea of prayer first is not printed on every single day. So you might maybe just even put the initials, PF, on each of those blocks so that you remember to pray first. In all things, pray first. And so looking at this first week, Tuesday, we're to read the Amanda Gorman poem, New Day Lyric. Wednesday, spend 5 to 10 minutes in silence, becoming aware of your physical body and sending it blessings of love. Thursday, watch a sunrise or a sunset. Friday, make a list of 25 things that you like or love about you. And if you need help, call a friend. And then Saturday, listen to a poem by David White. All this sounds pretty easy and straightforward, right? Well, maybe not. Here are the questions that have popped up so far. After I read the poem, then what? The answer? Yeah. What if I can't sit in silence for 5 or 10 minutes or don't know how to bless my body? The answer? Yeah. What if I'm not awake at a sunset or a sunrise? The answer? Yes. What if I can't come up with 25 things that I like or love about me and I really don't feel comfortable calling someone? Yeah, all right. What do I do after I listen to the poem by David White? And by now I think you know the answer. It's yes. Now, I'm not trying to be flippant or evasive, but I do want all of us to remember that the tool we are using this week is awareness. So let's explore this tool, and then with new eyes, minds, and hearts, we will take another look at the calendar. Now, since this is Unity, I decided to first pray, and then to go to the Unity dictionary called The Revealing Word, written by Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore. And when I looked up the word awareness, well, it wasn't there. Awakening was, and that read, spiritual awakening, becoming conscious of the things of spirit, of God. So what about this word conscious? And then there's an entry for conscious mind. The mind that makes one know of one's mental operations and the states of consciousness. That phase of mind in which one is actively aware of one's thoughts. The mind through which we establish our identity. Well, here we are being reminded that it is in our conscious mind, or our thinking mind, where we decide who and what we are. It is by our thinking that we make it so. Well, what about this word consciousness? And it says, the sense of awareness, of knowing. It goes on to say, it is very important to understand the importance of our consciousness in spiritual growth. Divine ideas must be incorporated into our consciousness before they can mean anything to us. And an intellectual concept does not suffice. To be satisfied with an intellectual understanding leaves us subject to error thinking, sickness, poverty, and death. To assure continuity of spirit, soul, and body as a whole, we must ever seek to incorporate divine ideas into our mind. And then we see Christ consciousness. And Mr. Fillmore says, this is a consciousness built in accordance with the Christ ideal, or in absolute relationship to the divine. The perfect mind that was in Jesus is also within us. And so this Christ consciousness is when we are living from the inside out, when we truly know that we are the very expression of the divine, or when we live as though we know that we are the light in the world. And what about a sense consciousness? Well, this is a mental state that believes in and acts only through the five senses. This is when I am living from the outside in, relying only on my five physical senses to discern and understand and do, and that doing that will either get me in a world of trouble or just deep dissatisfaction. So what if we put the both of them together, that sense consciousness with a Christ consciousness? Well, Charles Fillmore calls that the total consciousness. It's when we have our conscious, our thinking mind, our subconscious, that we're not really aware of, and that super consciousness, that's when we are in alignment with the divine, receiving divine ideas, when we know that we are centered in God and open and receptive to divine ideas. In Unity, we often say that we are spiritual beings creating or having this human experience. And often we only want to acknowledge the spiritual, and we tend to denigrate the physical. Well, you can try to do that, but it won't get you too far. For you are both spiritual and physical, and it works, or you work, when there is order and balance between the two, when you live from the inside out. In order to do that, there must be an inside and there must be an outside. So let's try something, all right? Take a moment now and breathe in. Is there a problem? Oh yeah, you want to breathe out. So breathe out. You see, you need both to truly live. You need the spiritual and the physical. You need them to truly be you, and then you can be open and receptive to your gifts of wonder, to really taking care of you and to your spiritual journey. But you first need to be aware. To everything there is a season and a blessing or a gift in every purpose under heaven. What blessings or gifts might you discover if you become more aware? Now, I know that what some of you might be thinking, but what if I don't like the blessing or the gift? Remember the breathing in and the breathing out. The breathing in felt good. But by the time we finally got to the breathing out, well, that felt really good. Many Unity people only want the positive, the happy, the flow. But to everything, there is a season. We desire to be in the flow, but what about the ebb? If it were all flow, the ocean would wreak havoc with our planet. If it were all ebb, there would be endless drought. How about this idea? Can your illness be a part of your healing? Can your grief be a part of your love? Can your failure be a part of your success? Can the gifts of winter be a blessing? Yeah, if you are aware, open, and receptive. So now let's go back to the calendar with new eyes and hearts and minds. And so the first thing on Monday is in all things pray. Well, why? Because it opens us up to God, to our good, It changes us. It doesn't change God, not anything out here. It changes us. And then with awareness, we can be the very expression of the divine. We can be the change in the world. And then on Tuesday, read the poem New Day Lyric. How did that poem make you feel? What did that poem mean to you? Wednesday, spend 5 or 10 minutes in silence, becoming aware of your physical body and sending it blessings of love. If you are worried that you may not do it correctly or perfectly, is that thinking helpful to you? Is there another way? What if you just sat for a moment thinking, I love my body? Or come up with something else, or come to the Wednesday evening meditation service. The next is watch a sunset or a sunrise. If you see this as a problem for you, why? Couldn't you just simply go online? I'm sure someplace in the world of Google there is a sunrise or a sunset that you can watch. But the more important thing is, why did you make that a problem? Make a list of 25 things you like or love about you. Ugh, that's too hard. I can't come up with that list. You haven't even tried yet. Take a pen in your hand and a piece of paper and start. Maybe you'll come up with 5. Maybe you'll come up with 10. Maybe you'll come up with 50 or 100. Oh, I couldn't possibly call someone. Why not? Why couldn't you be vulnerable with someone who loves you? And then Saturday, listen to a poem by David White. And again, what are you feeling or thinking? Well, perhaps by now you've figured out that the doing is not as important as your awareness about yourself. My mentor used to say that awareness is everything. And over the years, I've come to believe that he's correct. Without awareness, it is difficult to be open and receptive to all our blessings and gifts. Without awareness, very difficult to accomplish self-care or to move forward on your spiritual journey. Without awareness, your life will be besieged by the same problems and challenges over and over again. Instead, go through this week with awareness. Maybe even journal your thoughts and feelings. And when we get to the last day of the month, join me on a Zoom gathering to share and talk about the gifts of winter that were revealed to you. To everything, there is a season and a blessing or a gift in every purpose under the heavens. This week, become aware and enjoy it all. Namaste.